All right, welcome back to another episode of the Power Sports Memorabilia Show. I'm your host, Matt Powers. Thank you again for joining me. Please visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also, me follow over there on Instagram at Powers Autographs. So by now, I'm sure you probably have heard this whole Logan Paul Pokemon sealed case disaster. If you haven't, I'll give you a quick 20-second synopsis here. Essentially, he bought a first edition Pokemon sealed case from a very well-respected dealer and investor in the industry, Matt Allen, for $3.5 million, I think. And it ended up being a fake case. There were like G.I. Joe cards inside.
Yo, Joe! He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there.
And not the Pokemon card. So go back and watch this video. It's all over social media. It's sad and comical at the same time. This Matt Allen guy, I don't know any of these people here, but he's very legitimate in the business here from all I've seen. He had purchased it from another guy, another card shop who helped facilitate the sale for like $2.7 million. So just a ton of cash to be playing around with here. But anyway, they had it all inspected by BBC, who does they authenticate sealed cases, mainly of sports cards is what I know them for. But apparently they did this Pokemon one too, and that was the reason why they were able to get this big sale price, because it was authenticated by them. And they opened it up, and it was G.I. Joe cards inside Pokemon boxes. So not good. And it was funny about the whole story is essentially he authenticated it because of the tape and the labeling on it. Like, it looked like it was from 1999, so that's how he authenticated that. So I don't know. That's a bizarre story. Allen has since refunded Logan Paul, but apparently he has not gotten his money back yet. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, what can we learn from this fiasco? I mean, this is just absolute disaster for them and for the industry here. And let me give you 3 takeaways that I think will help you when buying sports memorabilia, or really anything for this matter, but mainly for the sports memorabilia, for autographs, sports cards, etc. All right, so 3 takeaways for you. All right, number 1, this is probably the most important one I'm going to talk about today. That's why I put it number 1, is you got to buy from people that will help you if there's a problem. There's going to be issues that are going to pop up in this industry. You buy an item and it gets damaged, or you buy an item and it's not what you think it is, or you get it and something's messed up with it. So you got to work with people that are going to be willing to help you out when there's a problem. And Logan Paul got pretty lucky here that he was working with such a stand-up guy who actually refunded his money. Now, granted, there was a whole bunch of social media coverage on this, so it would look really, really bad if he didn't refund his money. But I have no doubt that this Allen guy would have refunded his money. He's very well known in the industry and seems like a pretty stand-up guy. But you got to work with people that are going to help you out here. You always want to make sure that you protect yourself, to do everything you can to protect yourself. And that is by paying with a method that gives you an out. For example, paying with your debit card or whatever it is. You got paying with goods and services on PayPal. If someone is making you do something uncomfortable in a transaction, whether that's forcing you to pay a certain way, for example, friends and family, Venmo, stuff like that, where you don't have any recourse if there's a problem, that's probably some pause and some reconsideration that may be taken on your end there. And that's why I always, anytime anybody buys something from me, it's always done through my website, so that way they can pay with a method that they choose. There's literally 8 different payment methods on there, and they get a receipt. They know exactly what they've paid for. There's no questions about it. In the autograph industry, it drives me bonkers, but dealers are still making people send in checks and money orders. Like, what the hell is going on here? Who's paying people for autographs with money orders? What is this, eBay 1999 here? I mean, insanity. And please don't do that. Don't send people checks and money orders for sports memorabilia. That is one of the dumbest things you can do. You have no out. Should the signing get canceled, then it's on you to follow up with that dealer. Don't do that, okay? Pay with a method that you feel comfortable doing. And that's why people pay big bucks for stuff for, guys like Golden Auctions and whatnot. Yes, they're selling high-end stuff, but they know if there's a problem that, hey, listen, they're going to fix it. They're going to do everything they can to fix it because these companies have reputations and they've got to protect that reputation, and they're going to do everything they can to help the customers out here. So again, issues will pop up with transactions. I'm not immune. You are not immune. Just make sure that you buy from people that you trust and people who will actually help you fix an issue if there is a problem. And number 2, another big one here, ask for help. Trust yourself, but also you got to lean on other people in the industry and not just one person, especially when you're doing a big purchase. Okay, let's take a look at this transaction, okay? BBCE, who authenticated the Pokemon case. I don't know how much they really know about the Pokemon world. There were some, issues that were brought up there, and the reason why they started opening up this sealed case from other people who knew more about this particular item than BBCE did. So there are obviously experts out there who knew more about this than the person who was authenticating the case. And even Logan Paul is a very well-versed person in the Pokemon card world. Okay, he's a big fan. He knows about the cards. And Alan, of course, is a well-respected high-end card dealer, so he knows the space. I don't know how much he knows about Pokemon here. But all 3 of these people got, as I said in the video, duped. No, go back and watch the video. the authenticator says, as soon as they open it up here and they figure it out that it's a fake, they go, oh, we all got duped.
We all got duped. Agreed?
Which is technically true, but they all kind of got duped because it was authenticated by your company, which is why I stay out of the authentication business. That is a tough racket there. I don't want to be the one that says, hey, yep, I believe that's fake. I believe that's real. I usually defer to the other people that are well more versed in this, the JSA, PSAs, and Beckett's there. So if you message me asking me if something's authentic, I typically don't to give you a yes or no answer because I don't want to be the guy that says yes and then it's no, and I don't want to be a guy that says no and then it actually is real. So that's a tough business to be in here. But you got to make sure that you're checking with 2 or 3 sources prior to a big purchase like this. Because again, in the Pokemon world, there are rabid collectors out there, and people that know this stuff like the back of their hand. And so I don't know how much research was done on their end. Granted, having authenticated by BBC is usually a pretty good indicator that it's a real sealed case. But again, they're going to make mistakes. But you got to be doing research with 2 or 3 other people that you really know and trust in this industry. And you've got to be your biggest advocate. You've got to be the one fighting for information if you don't understand something fully. Somebody says it's authentic. Hey, why is it authentic? Well, we believe it's authentic because of this and this and this. And if I was buying a $3.5 million Pokemon case and somebody said they're authenticating it because of the tape on the outside, I'd be like, well, do you have any other information on why it's authentic? Like, maybe the weight of the box or or I don't know. There's got to be some sort of information out there other than what the tape looks like, because you could have opened it up in 1999 and put 1999 tape back on it in 1999. So I don't know. That just seems like a weird way to authenticate it. I know you're buying a sealed case, but if you're spending this much money, you think that you would open it just to make sure that hey, listen, the packs weigh everything exactly what they're supposed to. The box weighs everything. The dimensions are all correct. I'm not asking you to open up all the boxes inside, but maybe go a little step further and actually open the damn thing up. But I mean, just think about it. You're going to buy a house, for example. Okay. A lot of us know stuff about home building. Some of us don't. Okay. But we always get an inspection when we buy a house, right? Because the homeowner is probably going to lie on their disclosure, right? They don't tell you everything. They get a little water in the basement, they're probably going to leave that off there, okay? So it's always important to obviously get an inspection, but also bring someone else with you that's maybe a home builder or somebody else that's bought 2 or 3 homes. That way they can take a look at it and make sure that, everything's on the up and up for you. I remember the last house that we bought, we found out that a window was rotting in there, so we had to replace the whole window there, and that was $1,300 right there. So, something stupid like that you miss. And windows are so damn expensive. My God. But stuff like that is just simple stuff that you'll miss. But again, on big purchases like this, you want to get extra help, but you also don't be afraid to ask questions and don't buy something that you don't understand. Just like Dave Ramsey says, I know a lot of you guys don't like Dave Ramsey, but I think he's definitely right on this one here. Just don't buy or invest in anything you don't fully understand, okay? There's a lot of pump and dump stuff going on right now. NFT market, the crypto market. I mean, everything is being manipulated. And if you don't fully understand something, don't buy it. All right, number 3, another good takeaway here is be willing to walk away from a deal. This is a very, very challenging one sometimes. I know a lot of you guys this will resonate with you. You get presented with an opportunity that you think is a steal or something that is going to be monumentous for your collection or to buy and to sell. And you just don't think that opportunity is going to present itself again. I've been there. You guys have been there. And yes, you might miss some opportunities here if you do this, but always be willing to walk away from a deal if something doesn't add up or you aren't confident in the legitimacy of an autograph or a Pokemon box in this case. Yes, the BBC guys had authenticated that. But again, this is a $3.5 million purchase. And I don't know how much money that is a net worth for Logan Paul's, but, that's probably a decent chunk of the change. I would be going to any length to find out its legitimacy and be 100% confident in its legitimacy. And if I wasn't, I would want to back away. And the reason being is it's a lot harder to get out of transactions than it is to get into transactions. Just keep that in mind. A lot easier to buy stuff than it is to sell stuff afterwards. So never feel pressure to rush to buy anything, especially something you don't fully understand. But having the courage and the know-withal to walk away from a deal that you don't feel confident in is a game changer. It's very, very hard to do. Believe me, I've been there. Very hard to do. To say no and say, you know what, I don't feel confident in this one here. And it's tough. I get it. But try it out. I believe me, you will save yourself a ton of headache and some money, and trust that gut in there. Okay. After talking to a whole bunch of people, trust your gut, ask for help, buy from people that you know will help you out with the problem, and be willing to walk away. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this topic today. I feel terrible for all these parties involved here, but it's tough to live your life on social media, man. The guys put all this information out there, and man, especially I feel terrible for the authenticator. I mean, my gosh, of course, people are just roasting him, and maybe rightfully so, but I mean, give the guy a break, right? He's doing the best he can, I'm sure, and I'm sure he's done a lot of good help for the industry. But that's tough to be in. My gosh, I've been in those situations where it's like, wow, your heart is racing. You're just like, please turn out the way it is. Oh my gosh, it's not. Oh, Jesus. But hopefully he'll turn it around and make some changes in his business. So anyways, appreciate you guys listening here. Don't forget to visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also, give me a follow over there on Instagram @PowersAutographs. And I will see you on the next episode.